This show is sponsored in part by Compass for Conduct Disorder, a 501c3 nonprofit organization offering support for those living with conduct disorder. To make a donation or find out more about conduct disorder, visit www.compassforcd.org. Hey, 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 it's your girl Lisa Denae, and you are tuned into Lisa Denae Live right here on Stunner Radio, brought to you by Vanguard Media. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I'm so glad that you decided to join us today. I have a very special guest with us today by the name of P. Koffe Brown. And I'm telling you, just by the name alone, you want to know what she got to say. You feel me? So thank you so much for tuning in with us. Before we get started with our guest interview, I'm just going to read a little bit about what's been going on since the last time I seen you. So our beloved Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg was laid to rest this week, becoming the first woman and first Jewish person to lie in state ever at the U.S. Capitol. So it was a wonderful ceremony. Her former law clerks were serving as honorary pallbearers, and it was really nice. Very, very, something very good to see. It's amazing that you can make history in life and death. So, what a fitting tribute to her. We made it through Tropical Storm Beta, you guys. Minimum flooding. I know some people that did flood said it wasn't minimum for them, but minimum flooding. And for the first time in weeks, there are no tropical storms spinning anywhere in the Atlantic Basin. That's according to the National Hurricane Center. So hopefully, you guys, it will stay that way and we could just go into our fall activities, go into the holiday season without having to worry about flooding. But you know, this is Houston. So always be prepared. You never know what's going to happen. Now, this is something that I want to tell you about that I felt like was really interesting. Google is updating Google Maps to show how bad COVID-19 is in your area. So they're going to roll out color-coded maps to give you an idea of the area. That way you can make a decision if you really want to go over there and have lunch. So look for that new update this week on Google Maps. Chime in, you guys. Tell me what you think about that. I think it's pretty interesting because if I see a red area, I might go in another direction. So thank you. Good looking out, Google. In entertainment news, oh my goodness, you guys, what a week in entertainment. But I really want to talk about the Emmys. The Emmys did a really good job this year. I know some people felt like they was throwing us some gifts and some bones, but that's okay. The Emmys were so black this year with a record-setting number of winners from our community. So we are so happy about that, and I'm going to get more in detail that with our top 5 wins of the week later on in the show. The Emmys did their thing, and our people are finally getting the recognition that they so deserve. So hope you guys enjoyed the Emmys. Even though it was virtual, everybody still looked good. So here we are, the part that I know you tuned in for. Our guest, our very special guest, P. Koffe Brown, is in the building. Let's talk to her today.
Yes,
so tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
What specifically do you want to know, Lisa?
Tell us whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
What I do, I basically change lives one thought at a time.
Okay.
Help people to understand that everything that they do is centered around what they're thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you do, it has to do with what is penetrating your mind. Your mind is the GPS for everything you do as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And so if people can control their mind, they can control everything else.
Absolutely.
In their space. And so I help people to do that.
That's great. That's amazing. So I know that you're an author, public speaker, life coach, but I also read in your bio that you were a healing practitioner.
Correct.
So of course that made my antennas go up. I want to know, what is that about? What's that mean? What does that entail?
Healing practitioner is, first of all, you have to be healed first.
Mm-hmm.
I was molested and raped. By the time I was 7, I had been molested by a female. By the time I was 13, my virginity was stolen by a family member. Then I got in high school and got assaulted by somebody. Then I had a child from a rapist. And so I had all these kind of traumas going on. My house burned down, went through a dissolution of marriage. My spouse passed away. I had all these different type of traumas that had attached themselves to my life. I got an injury when I was a little child where all of my skin was off of the left side of my face. My whole mouth was shifted because I almost got hit by an 18-wheeler because this little boy was mad at me. He wanted me to be his little girlfriend. I didn't like him. So he tripped me in the snow when I lived in Detroit, and my neighbor pulled me back by my leg, but it took all of the left side of my face almost completely off.
Wow.
And so, you know, my life was filled with this chaos and calamity and confusion. But parallel to that, I was recording and doing background and writing and, you know, experiencing highs but extreme lows. And so my life kept going on this roller coaster ride, up and down, up and down. And so finally, you know, I made a decision to move away from my family, my friends. I didn't tell anybody. I left and came here. I had been coming out here for years on business. So I said, you know what, that's my safe space. I don't know why it's my safe space, but in 2010, I pronounced to myself when I was here on business, I will be living here in 2011, no matter what it cost me. And I said that when I was on the soil, right in the Galleria area. When I was in Organo Gold, I was Sapphire in the company, and Holton Buggs and his wife, Erlene Buggs, were incredibly influential in how I saw myself. And because of them, I said, well, if Holton and his wife can make it, then I can too. And at that time, I was going through an ugly dissolution of marriage, and my house had just burned down within 12 months. And so my divorce came final on my daughter's 10th birthday, May 6, 2010. And then in 2011, he passed away. He fell dead one Saturday, passed away. And so all of this stuff happened, and I'm like, what in the hell is going on? That's what I'm thinking to myself. And I'm a believer. I am a born again believer, faith filled, baptized in the fire of the Holy Spirit. I love God first and foremost, and I couldn't understand why all this chaos and calamity was following me. I couldn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. How could I believe in a God that doesn't seem like he's present with me? And so when I got out here, I went through this whole entire time of isolation from other humans, from other connections, from people being able to have access to. Nobody knew me. So I had my 3 babies, 8, 11, and 12, and my God. That was it. Just my 3 children and my creator. That's all I had. And so because I had my children, I knew I would be okay. Because I lived for them. You know, they were the one thing that balanced in my life. I had these 3 babies that needed me. And because I had something to live for, I had something to die for too. So because I had to live for them, I had to figure out why all of this stuff was attached to me. So I went through this intense healing process. I found a faith-based counselor who wasn't religious but spiritual, and she helped me to tap into my energy that's higher than my humanity, to find out, identify where these things came from. It may have been generational. It could have been some portal I opened. It could have been a number of things, but she helped me to dig past what I was afraid of. Because she said, like Job said, the thing I feared the most has come upon me. Job spoke it over himself. He had an innate fear that nobody knew about, but Job feared losing his family, losing his stuff, he had this innate fear. He said, the thing I feared the most has come upon me. And so she said, the spirit of fear has attached itself to you. I said, what? So as I went through that, and I began to heal from the inside out. And I said, wait a minute, this is literally a whole mantra. This is something really deep to go, this is really deep. So she said, yeah, when you get done, you'll be a healing practitioner because you will be healed. And she said, you'll see what I mean after you pass through all this. So I went through all that stuff, you know, other things started happening, but I was able to understand it and not buy what it was trying to sell me. It was still trying to sell me fear, but I didn't have to buy it because it was selling it to me. So I went through all of that. And so I went through obesity. I went through alcoholism. I went through sexual promiscuity from being assaulted like I was. I went through violence. I went through jail. I went through all kinds of things, you know, so people see me on the other side and they don't know me. They ain't got a clue. So I went through hell, like I grew through a hell space. And when I got on the other side, I made a promise to my creator that I was going to help other people who wanted to genuinely become free, not just superficially, but wanted to go through a cleansing based on where they were, their life experiences, all the stuff they had to deal with, and help them. You know, when I was going through abuse and you know, fighting with the men in my life who were trying to beat on me and all that kind of stuff. I'm from Detroit. You're not gonna hit me. You won't get a chance to just put your hands on me. So I didn't understand that I didn't have to fight them. I could have called 911, come pick them up. But
Right.
the thug in me was like, you really want to hit me? Come on with it. I'm not Tina Turner. I'm gonna tell you want to take me out. I'm gonna take you out. So my mindset had to be cleaned and purified, and I had to understand. So because of that, and then losing the weight, keeping the weight off, breaking that generational cycle, because all of my foremothers was obese. Just started breaking cycles. And I said, well, you know what? Since I'm breaking them, I may as well break them all. May as well break the poverty. May as well break the lies. May as well break it all. May as well break the food stamp ideology. May as well break the non-ownership. May as well break the educational barriers. And so I just started understanding that this thing was way bigger than me. So throughout the course of the years, once I got on the other side and I wasn't afraid anymore, because you can't be afraid helping somebody dig into their stuff.
Right.
So once I got past it, once I got through those fears, once that barricade was around me and I was living a life integrous that reflected what I was saying, then I started helping people to get to a place where they're whole, because you got to be whole. You can't be in relationships and stuff like that and be pieces and particles, because it's never going to work. So I help people to understand that we're complete in our Creator. We don't need anything outside of ourselves to become everything He's designed for us to be. So that's when I stepped into healing practicing. Now, I don't deal with a lot of people because people don't really want to be healed.
That's a very good point. So, well, people who don't know they're broken can't receive healing.
They know they're broken.
And sometimes people don't really know.
They know.
They may know that they've had some trauma in their lives, but people function so well.
Right. It's called dysfunctional functionality.
Yes.
So yeah, true.
I believe that people do want to be whole and want to be healed, but I think that it's difficult for people to understand the degree of their brokenness. Because when you experience trauma back to back, like what you were speaking of, that's one trauma, then another trauma, then another trauma. You can't even, absorb the first trauma before you're traumatized again.
Correct.
And because Black people are so, socialized to just grin and bear it, a lot of us go through these traumas. We seek no counseling. We seek no healing. We go to church and cry it out and shout and laugh and fall on the floor and run around the building, but not really getting a full sense of all these things have happened to me and they have changed who I am. So now I do need healing. I need to be whole. So that's why I say people don't know they're broken, because, that's such a cliche now. Oh, broken people and toxic people. It's also cliche, but I think people don't really realize what that means. And what it means is that, for one, you're not what you said, your authentic person. That is full and complete within your Creator. So I can definitely relate with a lot of what you're saying. And I think it's a wonderful thing that you decided to help other people, because when you've gone through that type of stuff, you go either one way. You become a perpetual victim.
Exactly.
You're completely victimized over and over. And you hold on to your victimhood.
Correct.
Or you become an overcomer.
Or a predator.
And you can become a perpetrator. You're either victim or perpetrator. Or you become the overcomer.
Correct.
Who reaches back and get other people and show them you don't have to be either one of these. You can be an overcomer. So I applaud you for that. I wanted to talk about your book, Why He Made Her and Played Me. But before we do that, since I learned so much about your story, I want you to speak to the current state of the Black community, especially the Black woman, in terms of healing. Because I think that is very important for us, because for whatever reason, we are at the bottom of the list when it comes to self-care. We're at the bottom of the list when it comes to healing, completion, even being heard, even being seen, even in the places we seek healing like church. We are usually at the bottom of the list when it comes to, are you really okay? It's how are you? I'm blessed and highly favored. And half the time you just barely got out of bed this morning. So speak to that a little bit. How do you see us getting from where we are to where we need to be, whole, healed, and healthy?
The key is being receptive, because somebody can see past that superficial component that you're presenting to people.
Right.
Somebody knows you inwardly and intimately. I remember when I was singing years ago in a group, and my music mentor, Shirley Smith, she said, you keep smiling and telling jokes, but I know you bleeding to death on the inside.
Mm.
And so she was like, you know, you have got to be okay with us knowing your pain. You got to be okay with it.
Right.
And so she would say things to me, and she would impute certain things out just off the cuff at random times. And those were seeds
Mm-hmm.
that turned into fruit now. It took a long time for it to become fruit, but those seeds that she planted, she had no idea what it was going to turn into now. She just planted the seeds. And so when you're receptive and you're an open orifice of change, and you really want to change, then the same holds true when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about when you're ready. When you're not ready, nothing is going to happen. But
Right.
the moment you become ready, it doesn't matter how ready, it's just a matter of being open and receptive. As soon as you open, the universe will shift in your favor, and bam, somebody will manifest to help you get to that place that you need to be in order to actually fulfill the destiny of what the Creator has designed you for. But it's not until you're receptive. Nobody can make us receptive. I can't come to you and tell you, Lisa, I can see this. But if you're not open,
Right.
you're going to reject what I'm saying to you. It's like when Christ used to go to certain places and they were rejected. What did he say? I wipe my feet off and I'm going to keep it moving. I can't make you be receptive.
Right.
But guess what I did? That seed is still planted.
Absolutely. So the key to getting to the point of being receptive is just be okay with people seeing your pain.
Mm-hmm.
Be okay. And I wonder why it is that we try so hard to hide our pain.
Because our mother
pain is
told
a
us to.
human
Our mother
experience.
told us to. Our grandmother told us to. We watch them not by their words, but by their example. Okay, not by their words, but children don't learn by what we say. They learn by what we show them. So if I
Right.
see my mother in the room screaming and crying, but she comes out and prepares everybody's food, smiling, all I can remember is her in that room in the corner screaming and crying.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But she displayed for us a theatrical presentation
Mm-hmm.
as her actress. She came as our own representative to make us believe that she was fine in front of everybody. But behind closed doors, she damn near died.
And I think that's like trying to protect you,
Exactly.
trying to make sure that you feel okay.
Exactly.
Because I think as mothers, we know that our children, they can feel,
Mhm.
heavy if we feel heavy. They
Mhm.
can feel sad if we feel sad.
Mhm.
So I can see that and I can understand that. But I feel like for people to break out of that mold,
Mhm.
I think the first step is to just understand that pain is a human experience that we all have.
Mhm.
It's a necessary experience, and it's not always negative.
And
Sometimes
that
pain.
comes with emotional intelligence.
Yes.
You have to become emotional intelligent, and once you become emotionally intelligent, then you understand why this happens or why that happens, and then you address it according to that experience.
Absolutely.
Not 25 experiences from this one isolated incident. One has nothing to do with the other.
Right.
So unless it's a ripple effect from you doing A, then you got B, C, D, E, F, G that came from you doing A. So you got to understand all these things, but it takes time. It takes a lot of reading. I read 100 plus books a year, at least 100.
Yes.
So most humans are going to ingest at least 100 books a year. They're not going to take the time to do that. So you have to take the energy necessary and do the work. It's all about the work.
It takes work.
It takes a lot of work.
I feel like for me, and based on my journey, I know the only reason why I started doing my work is because I knew I was worth it. And I think that's where we have to start also, is that our women have to understand that you're worth the time it takes. So yes, it takes time to receive your healing, to become whole, to develop into you're really who you're supposed to be, but you're worth the time.
Absolutely.
You think about how people get in relationships, and sometimes they know it's not time. They know I'm not fully where I need to be yet.
They can feel it.
They know, like, I'm not fully where I need to be yet. I don't really want to put this person off because this may be my last chance at having a man. But I feel like we should understand that we are worth it. And there's no rush. There's no timetable. If a person is for you, they're for you. If a situation, job, career, anything is for you, it's for you. And I really love what you said about reading, researching, because it's funny how people will do that to get their kids into to a college.
Correct.
They'll do that to get a job. They'll do that even sometimes to get a man.
Mm-hmm.
Read all these articles and all these tips on dating.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to your own healing,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to your own wholeness, you tend to allow that to take a back seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I really hope that will change. That's part of the reason why I do the show, is because I know how difficult it is to go from trauma to trauma to trauma to trauma, and nobody's really there to show you how to get out of that.
And it starts with the mirror. It starts with that mirror experience.
Yes.
It starts in the bathroom in the morning. I do at least once a week, I do a YouTube video and I talk about certain things. People will inbox me or say, can you talk about this? Everybody is scared to say something. I said, just send it to me. I'll say whatever needs to be said. But, I'll talk about any kind of topic you can imagine. And one day I was talking about the mirror. And you know how you get up in the morning, you're in your bathroom, you get ready to take a shower. And like while you're doing it, you're in the mirror going, damn, my stomach. Oh man, I got some fat on my stomach. My breasts not sitting up like I want them to sit up. Oh my God. Oh, my hair, my teeth. We find every defect.
Yes.
Instead of what makes us uniquely beautiful.
Yes. And you are really on my street, because anybody who watches my show know I talk about the mirror all the time. Mm-hmm. The mirror is my wonderful place. That's my happy place. And I have told women, this is your beginning. Mm-hmm. Get in front of that mirror, mm-hmm. bucket. Mm-hmm. And I mean bucket naked.
Absolutely.
Do not try to hide anything.
Absolutely.
And just learn to look at it and
mm-hmm.
love it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's there. It is what it is. And even if you're not happy with it, you can't truly change it until you accept it and mm-hmm. until you love it. Mm-hmm. So I really love that, because that's something that I'm a firm believer on, getting in that mirror mm-hmm. and falling in love, because that's the only person.
Be in love. Don't fall. Be.
The love gotta be there. However you get there, the love needs to be there, because you have to love this. Absolutely. This is the only person that's permanent in your life.
Absolutely.
You.
Absolutely.
Everybody else is temporary.
Absolutely.
I was just doing an interview recently, and the lady asked me, because I experienced child abuse, and the lady asked me, when you looked at yourself in the mirror as a child, what did you see? Mm-hmm. And the funny thing is, they expected me to say, well, I saw a broken child. I don't know what they expected, but when I gave them my answer, they seemed surprised. The truth of the matter is, I saw a God. I saw mm-hmm. a being that could create a whole world to mm-hmm. exist in the broken world that she was in.
That's good stuff.
I knew that I could create my own world, mm-hmm. because when you experience trauma as a child, you have to. That's mm-hmm. your only way to really make it. You create your own world, and I saw that as God-like, because that's what God did, create the world. So I saw that in myself. So I never really felt self-hatred or anything like that, but I felt disappointed, because I would always say to myself, when is the God in me going to rise?
Right, and I'm like you, I never had a hate for myself. Like when people talk about suicide and stuff like that, there would be an assault on my mind to tell me. But I would say, I'm too cute to kill myself. Yes. If I fall off of something and I fall off a building, that's going to mess up my face. I would talk back to it. Yes. You're trying to attack me. I got something for you. Yes. So while you're coming for me, I'm going to come for you. Yes. So I didn't give it a chance to fester and grow and keep talking to me. Because, when you're in a dark space, all these other energies try to attach themselves to you because you're so low. Right. But like you said, you can literally create a environment, and I think that's where artists end up coming from, because they go to this place. I tell people all the time, artists are extremely eclectic. Our energy is so different. It's like people are like, P. Koffe, you so I know. But our energy is different, because we can go to a whole different space, a whole nother world. We can be in Dubai while we're sitting here with you. Absolutely. And you and people go, well, are you here with me? I'm physically here with you. Yes. But I'm not right here, because something is trying to bring down my energy. Yes. So I got to go over here while I'm present with you, but I got to keep my energy where it needs to be in order to keep me sane. Right. In order to function in my space. Absolutely. The way I'm meant to function. Absolutely. Well, we did get a comment from Darren Baker saying, talk about the authors. Now listen here, sir. This is my show. We're going to talk about what I want to talk about. Understand? This don't have nothing to do with him. He's not on here. He's over there. Right. Okay? But at the same time, we are going to transition. But I could talk to you all day. But we're going to have you come back and talk exclusively about you.
and your experience and everything that you do, because that is right in my wheelhouse. But we're gonna go ahead and.
But I'm gonna need to know where you got that lipstick from, because the way my situation is set up,
yes,
I'm a little upset because I'm like glittering right now.
My God! And I got some blue too that was popped with you.
See,
we're gonna talk after the show.
We need to talk about
yes, because I love the.
Because I got the blues. I'm gonna need. Yes, I'm gonna need that.
So let's get into it about your new book, Why He Married Her and Played Me. Mm-hmm. So where did the title come from?
I'm glad you asked, Lisa. So one of my life coaching clients, she was just rattling, going on and on about this dude she'd been with like 6 years. Oh, man, Coach Koffe, and I was cooking for him and cleaning for him and doing this and doing that, and I can't believe he left me and married somebody else in 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And so I said, so you want me to patronize you, or you want the truth, right?
Yes.
Miss Koffe, Coach, tell me the truth. I said, not the truth according to what you want to hear, but the truth according to what you need to rectify and change.
Yes.
Okay, Coach, tell me. I said, well, I would have played you too. And she said, what? I said, oh, absolutely. I said, as a chess player and a poker player, I read everything that was in your hand every time. I knew your every move. I knew what you were going to do next. I knew why you were going to do it. I knew you had low self-esteem. I knew you didn't love yourself. You were trying to please and appease me and give me all this stuff and things. Wow. So, of course, I'm going to play you. You opened the door for me to do it.
Yes.
So, she and I started conversing, and she just started crying. I said, what you crying for? It's not. This is not a time to cry. This is a time for you to understand. I'm gonna need you to take some notes, because we need to fix your situation.
Yeah.
Because what you did was you opened the door to be played. I said, and if I was a dude, I would have played you too, because you literally gave me a drum to beat on. And so, as we were conversing, she was like, Coach Koffe, you so. I said, I know I'm cold, but I need to be cold in order for you to understand what it is I'm saying.
Yes.
I said, because the temperature got to be cold. Because if I was hot and sweet and all that kind of stuff, you wouldn't dig what I'm saying. But because I'm from the streets of Detroit, Michigan, on the east side, if I say it like this, you'll get it. I know we're in the dirty South, but I'm not a Southern girl, so I got to give it to you northern style. We hit it straight.
We're from the north.
We hit it straight. We hit it straight. We don't do no chasing. Yes. When I get my liquor, I don't need ice. I want it straight up. So I try to help women to understand, this is why we don't get where we need to go, because somebody pacifies our biscuits and gravy. But I'm not going to say that on your show, but somebody pacifies it, and then the chick that you talking to, she buys into your BS, and then y'all start this whole camaraderie with your foolishness, instead of saying, you know what, you need to, okay.
Yes, so this is what you're going to get in the book.
That's where the title of this book came from. And this is only the first part of the series. This is the first part. But, I called on my homeboys and my friends and whatever, and I said to them, hey, man, listen, I can't write this and speak for y'all. I would be remiss to speak for you. Yes. I got 5 brothers. I can't speak for my brothers, but I watch how they move, how they married females, and they played other ones. Yes. So being in the house with 5 dudes on a habitual basis, being the only girl, got 2 little sisters, one 6 years my youth and one almost 15, 20 years my youth. I'm only surrounded by dudes. I just know how dudes move. I don't know how girls move. I'm around these dudes 24/7.
Yeah.
So I'm watching how they do women. I said, what can I do? So I'm talking to my client, and I'm like, girl, I'm not going to pacify you. I want you to understand what you need to do for you to become the type of woman that will not attract but repel those type of energies. You don't want that stuff in your space.
Absolutely. And we are out of time. I really hate that we are, but I'm just going to have you come back and maybe bring up one of the authors there. How many authors in the book?
It's 11.
11 co-authors of the book, Why He Married Her and Played Me. 9 secrets to what he's thinking. You got to get the book. It is available now for pre-order. Is that correct?
Correct. Through October the 1st.
All right. Thank you so much for being here. And please, stick around and chime in to our top 5 fails and top 5 wins. We're going to transition right now to our next segment. Thank you so much for being with us, P. Koffe Brown.
It's my honor.
Are you sick of steroid creams, water-based products, and
Good.
products in your
That's good.
vitamins? We have great news for you.
I can take this. I can take this off now.
Yes,
Right?
yes, we're clear.
I was
Yes.
about now that came out.
Some free
I hate coming in the studio. That's the only part I hate is the headset. I hate coming. That's one part I don't like about coming in the studio. The headset.
So
Oh yeah.
top 5 fails coming up right after this ad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So do I stay or go? You can stay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Visit www.productsbylizzie.com for more information, and be sure to use the promo code STUNNER at checkout.
Top 5 fails of the week coming up next on Lisa Denae Live. Real talk for the real world.
Hey, it's the top 5 fails of the week. It's your girl, Lisa Denae, and we're going to talk about the top 5 fails of this week. Now, I want to start off with Vanessa Bryant's mother. I know y'all saw the fact that she went on record talking about her daughter. She's claiming that the relationship with her daughter has not been good since the death of Kobe Bryant and their daughter, Gianna. Now, this is the reason why I listed this as a fail, because we all know when you experience death in the family, that's when all the folks come out at deaths and at weddings, when people show their true colors. And Miss Sophia Lane, Vanessa Bryant's mother, really showed her true colors. The reason why I call this a fail, I feel like this kind of stuff needs to stay within the family. Don't go to the media to talk about your daughter, who is clearly grieving not only the death of her husband, but her daughter. Bad taste. This is really bad taste. Now, apparently, they've been supporting her fully. She's been living fully off of them for 20 years. But Vanessa, according to her, has been cutting her off little by little since Kobe died. To me, that tell you something. That tell you something. I don't know about other people, but I would have been cut her off because that's my husband money, not yours. I'm just saying, every man gotta have their own path in life. And apparently she is not happy with the path she's on currently. So I just feel bad for Vanessa, because this is such an embarrassment that your mother would actually go to the media and talk about you in such a time as this. This is very fresh. This happened in January? She didn't even let it be a year. This is very fresh. This is a huge fail. So, Vanessa did release a statement. Part of what she said was, I see what is most important to my mother, and that makes this more painful. That's unfortunate that the money seems to be what's the most important. So moving right along. Number 4 on my list for top 5 fails of the week is Wells Fargo CEO Charles Scharf, or however you say his name. So he had to issue an apology this week because of something he said. Now, let me just let you know what he said. He said there's a lack of diversity at Wells Fargo because they have a very limited pool of Black talent to recruit from. Now, I don't know what pool he's swimming in or what pool he going to, but Black talent is everywhere. So he issued an apology to his employees, but I would implore you, if you are Black in America, do not put your money in their bank, because this is how they view us. They do not feel like we are talented, and he feels like that's an excuse to lack diversity. So he did release a statement to employees and said, this was a statement and an insensitive comment reflecting my own unconscious bias. So don't let that unconscious bias handle your money. All right, move your money around, Black people. Number 3 on my list for top 5 fails of the week is Tory Lanez. So he released the album this week, a so-called surprise album, which we already know was in the works, but an album this week. And in the album, one of the songs dealt with the situation, the shooting that occurred with Megan Thee Stallion. My part of this, the reason why I don't like this, and the reason why I'm saying this is a fail, is because the timing of it all. I feel like he is using this to promote his music. A person was shot. This is not funny. And we are coming up on Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We're not laughing, Tory Lanez. This is not cute. This is not cool. And I feel like you should have been higher on my list for the top 5 fails, but I'm going to tell you about the next person, and you'll see why he only made it to number 3. Number 2, Lori Loughlin. Now, we all know that she was found guilty in the college admission scandal. Now, they allowed her to pick her jail. They allowed her to pick the correctional facility that she is to serve her 2 months in prison. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I ain't never heard of nobody picking where they want to serve their time. Have you ever heard of it? I've never heard of it. So not only did she get to choose the prison where she will serve her sentence, a judge has approved that she will be going to Victorville Satellite Prison Camp. Now, this place is only a 2-hour drive from her $9 million home. And according to the reports, they offer classes on yoga and Pilates. She will also learn how to do calligraphy. She can take up classes on the ukulele and the saxophone. Now, this minimum security facility has already had three escapes since March. So it sounds like more of a country club to me. Club fed, as they call them. So, that's a fail for our justice system, because that if she was black, we already know how that would go. So my number one top 5 fail, and the reason why I can't spend a lot of time on this number 1 is because I'm going to get too upset. Speaking of the justice system, no charges are being brought to officers directly for the killing of 26-year-old Breonna Taylor. That's the top 5. That's the number 1. That's number 1 on my top 5 fails of the week. The justice system has failed us once again. Once again, we have been failed. This young lady, and no matter how you look at it, some people are saying, well, it's her boyfriend's fault. And, the American way is always to blame the victim. But we have to look at this the way it is. It was a wrongful death. They made a payment. They settled for a wrongful death. So they let you know that there was an admission of guilt, but there were no charges brought. And that is the reason why the legal system has made it to number 1 this week for my top 5 fails of the week. But I don't like to leave my show and end it on a negative note. So we're going to come back with the top 5 wins of the week right after this.
Is your page public or private? It's not showing up for any of my team. My whole team tried to watch it and it's showing a blank screen.
Photo frame and much more. And if you're having a party, a touch of honey.
That's clear. We're clear.
Oh.
We're good.
And personalized party favors. Visit their website at www.touchohoney.com and tell them Stunner Radio sent you.
All I do is win, no matter what. We're winning with the top 5 wins of the week on Lisa Denae Live. Real talk for the real world.
It's the top 5 wins of the week, and we love winners, don't we? The top 5 wins of the week right now on Lisa Denae Live. Let me just tell you that the versus effect is in full effect. At number 5, my top 5 wins of the week is Gladys Knight and Patti LaBelle. They reached their highest career streams due to their versus battle. Now that is a win because these ladies have been in the business for a very long time. So for them to both reach their highest career number of streams is a beautiful thing. Way to go to my people for supporting our queens. And if you didn't watch it, you missed a treat. Really? I really believe that it was just something that, it was historic.
Yes, it was.
Did you get a chance to watch it?
Absolutely.
It was great.
Tearjerker.
Yes. We don't usually have access to them like that, to see them, talking and chatting and singing, but it was a wonderful versus battle. So it had over 3 million viewers, and I'm so happy for them that they reached their career high of streams, and they're going to be getting more checks. So Pat can buy some more of them red bottoms. That's my number 5. Number 4, our girl Lizzo is going to be the cover girl for Vogue magazine.
Yes.
That is a win-win-win for everybody, not just Black women, all women, for Vogue to finally embrace the true body form. Everybody is not a size 2. And if you ever watch, look at Vogue magazine, that's usually what you see. People that look like they done missed a few meals. But our girl Lizzo is going to grace the cover, and she ain't missing no meals, and I ain't either. So I'm very proud, very proud. She has made our number 4 for the top 5 wins of the week. Go get it. Go buy it. Buy the digital copy. Buy the hard copy. Let's support Houston's own. They say she's from Houston. I don't know, but let's support because I do believe she is the first. She did state on her Instagram that she is the first.
She is the first
big black woman. Mm-hmm. These are her words to be on the cover of Vogue. And I do want to read her quote. She says, "The first black anything feels overdue, but our time has come. To all my black girls, if someone like you hasn't done it, be the first." So I'm going to agree with that. It's a wonderful thing for us to finally be recognized again for our curves. And we know everybody wants them because, they go buy the curves. They talk about us for having the curves, but then they go purchase some.
Indeed.
So so proud of Lizzo. And she's made my number 4 in top 5 wins of the week. Now, number 3, I'm going to take a little more time with because this is the Emmys. The Emmys was so black. Now, I usually do not care about the Emmys. Why? Because they don't never recognize people from the shows that I watch. But this year, they did. And the black actors made history with the most Emmy wins in a single year, including Eddie Murphy, who was his first Emmy, which amazes me.
Isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. The long career that he had, the blockbuster movies
that we still watch.
The huge impact he made on Saturday Night Live. Yeah. And this is what he won for, being a guest, the guest appearance as a host on Saturday Night Live. I think it was lightweight bogus, but we're happy that he was finally recognized. And if you ever watch Watchmen on HBO, Watchmen won big. It is an awesome show. If you haven't seen it, go catch it now on demand. It is awesome. Regina King won for her portrayal of Angela Abar.
Yes.
And my man that played Dr. Manhattan, I cannot say his name right, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II.
Yeah.
I think I did some justice to it. He won for his performance. Also, our girl Zendaya became the youngest person ever to win lead actress in a drama series. That is so huge at the age of 24. And so HBO won big with Euphoria.
They did.
With Watchmen, and there was another show on HBO that won, Watchmen, Euphoria, and Mrs. America. No, Mrs. America is on Hulu. I don't know which the other show was, but we know that Watchmen and Euphoria won, so that's a big thing for HBO. Also, Ron Cephas Jones and his daughter Jasmine Cephas Jones became the first ever father-daughter Emmy winners. Now that
huge. Was tough. Yeah,
that is huge. For me, being a daddy's girl, I just know that would be so amazing. Like, to do anything with your dad is great. So to win Emmys with your dad and to make history, that's awesome. So that was a good thing for us this week. And that's why it made number 3 on my top 5 wins of the week. So number 2 is Prime Time is going to Jackson State University. So if you are a Dallas Cowboy fan, or I'm not, but I am a Deion Sanders fan. Okay, we love Deion. He is going to one of the largest HBCUs in the country, Jackson State University. He is a Hall of Famer. This is big for that university. This is big for college football. This is big for America. I hope that we see more of this with these Hall of Famers that go into retirement but still got some good years left on them. So big ups to Jackson State for securing Prime Time, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot of great things coming out of that program. So they're number 2 for my top 5 wins of the week. Number 1, Megan Thee Stallion is going to be on the cover of Time magazine. Now, I be on the fence about Meg. Y'all know I really do be on the fence. Some of the stuff she does, some of the music, some of the lyrics, I'd be like, I don't know if I would have done that. But you cannot take away from her that she is one of the most influential people in the world right now. So she made the list. She has been named one of Time's top 100 influential people of the year. Now that is big. Another cover girl for us, Houston. Let's go out and support. Pick up the hard copy of Time magazine. Now there's going to be several covers, but out of the 100 people that they named, she is going to be one of the very few that get a cover. So that's huge. And if you haven't seen the cover, just Google it. It is phenomenal. It's gorgeous. She did the thing on that cover. And I'm so proud of her. That's why this week she is number 1 on the top 5 wins of the week. So that is it for the top 5 wins of the week, and we'll be right back with a wrap up right after this.
Are you enjoying the
Clear.
Great, glad to hear it. Show your love
That's
for
good.
your
Really
favorite summer radio shows with t-shirts, hoodies, coffee mugs.
Do you want to play this song after this ad? Do you want to play this song or at the end?
At the end.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up a little early.
Okay, cool.
Urban Talk Radio for the Black and Brown
Here we go.
community and all those who value diversity. Stunner Radio is the heart and soul of the culture.
Hey, and we're back. It's your girl, Lisa Denae. Thank you so much for tuning into the show today with my very special guest, P. Koffe Brown. Tell us how we can follow you, your social media information, and how they can buy the book.
Thank you, Lisa. Girl, I have enjoyed being here with you. It went by too fast.
It did go by really fast. I know.
Not too fast. So everything on my social platforms is all P. Koffe Brown. My YouTube channel, my Facebook. You can follow me, but I'm already capped out in the Friends Ministry. But come holler at your girl on IG.
Yes.
At P. Koffe Brown, PKOFFE Brown. So not 2 E's, not just KOFFE Brown. All one word. P. Koffe Brown at P. Koffe Brown. So everything on my platforms is all P. Koffe Brown. Even the Cash App to buy the book is Cash App P, the $ P. Koffe Brown. You guys can do that, and you have to fill out my postable link so I can make sure I can get your book mailed out to you, an autographed copy. It's www.postable.com/P. Koffe Brown.
Absolutely. You definitely want to get this book, Why He Married Her and Played Me. I think it's going to save some folks.
It's a doozy.
9 secrets to what he's thinking. I think it's going to save a lot of people. It'll help you to not make the same mistakes. And for nothing else, it'll just, be interesting. Because I'm nosy, so I'm definitely getting a copy. I want to know why he married her and played whoever. He ain't played me. But I'm just saying, I want to know why he married her and played me. So get your copy of the book. Follow her on all social media. I also want to encourage you to visit my website, lisadenae.com. Y'all need to understand, I'm so excited because we have merch. I got my Lisa Denae live merch. And I really want to just thank everybody because I've already been getting orders. And I'm just really shocked. Like, oh my God, they really ride with me. So thank you to my peeps. But don't stop, get it. Don't stop, get it. Go visit my website, lisadenae.com. I got some very special items on there for domestic violence awareness.
Awesome.
That goes along with my song, Love Myself More. So go get your Love Myself More merch. We're going to be making sure that you hear the song again next month when we start Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Speaking of songs, we're going to end this episode this week with my latest single, Smoke, featuring my son, David Cadence. It's a mother-son collab, people.
Nice.
Enjoy. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Clear. That's good.
Couldn't make a name for yourself, you had to steal.
All right.
No love in your house, I had to go and build one.
The dirt you kick will bury me, and the lies you tell don't worry me. I got a fire in my belly, and nobody could ever lie. See, I was born with a sword in my mouth, I'm the puzzle that you never figure out. All of the pieces that you thought you had destroyed, I'm now covered with diamonds and gold. Unbreakable, I'm a queen, I'll never sell my soul. And the new me ain't never getting old. You looking crazy cause you think it's a joke. I just sit back and watch the show. And catch my smoke, catch my smoke, catch my smoke. I hope you don't choke. You're looking crazy cause you thought it was a joke. Now just sit back and watch the show.
Yes. I can never be too careful, but it's still. I see what you mean.
I got you. Okay. So we'll just so what you do. Oh, I'm here. Oh, yeah. You get up. Here, can you just let my service? Here, I'll put my front camera in my back.
I told you one day that you would lose me. But you thought it was a joke. So catch my smoke, catch my smoke, catch my smoke. I hope you don't choke. You're looking crazy cause you thought it was a joke.
She's smiling.
Don't
Switch either, see? Exactly. Okay, and see, you got to smile if you don't lift your eyes.
I hope you don't looking crazy cause you thought it was a joke. Now just sit back
Ladies.
and catch my smoke.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, that's that shy.
I don't know nothing about that.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
Now let's get some about.
Oh, yeah, you have to get a picture of the book in your hand. Because it's not even out yet. It's not even out yet. So this is like, terrifying. She can't even access.
Very.
That pressure that made me a dominant jungle that made me a warrior. You do a lot.
Hey, okay.
Yes.
We know that.
Yeah,
It's love. Y'all show each other some love.
good.
Show some love.
Oh, cute! What y'all doing to me?
That's nice. I was looking crazy.
No, that's good.
Can't get carried away. It's true. I mean, hey, that's nothing new. People get attached too fast, get mad too fast.
Hey.
Oh, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that.
No gas, it's just all facts. It ain't my fault. You ain't on task. When I'm not around, it's all this yet. When I'm in your face, you.
I like that. Okay.
That ain't slipping neck.
Oh, you want to do
Watch
that
your
first?
tone every step. When I'm in this game, I'm taking everything and leaving what's left.
I haven't worn this outfit since I was in New York. Very cute. It is very comfortable. Cannot be. It's not even in her line anymore.
I got that same one. You know, I ordered like 3 of them.
I know. Yeah. It's about that.
Who's gonna do y'all show? Whoever's
Well,
running
it can't be
the
right like that. Can you do I have to?
This I looked at VanGuardMediaLLC.com.
How does it look? Oh, yeah. Have you tried J.Anthony Brown's gourmet products? Just try it. Spicy and flavorful hot sauce. Like the sweet and juicy peach and pepper. Or maybe the tear-jerking cayenne. If that doesn't do it for you, try the Vita Mix garlic
Do I
flavor.
have time to rest?
Or go for the
Yeah, I
hot
think so.
damn habanero. And if that's not hot enough, try that dynamite hotter than a mofo. Order hotter than a mofo products at www.
Oh, yeah, y'all got it. Y'all got 5 minutes.
Okay.
All right, Miss Lisa.
Do you have to read right away?
Okay, can you give me 5 minutes while I get the
The only sense was to help you take control of your
I
life
guess
by
it's in
providing
the,
friendly natural wellness products right in the comforts of
kitchen.
your own home. Yoni is a word that describes a divine passage